Hi, my name is Vuk and I'm the host of the Change podcast, where we introduce you to people and ideas shaping MENA region. Our guest today was born and raised in Italy. He started as an IT engineer in Telecom Italia, the largest telco in Italy. He continued his career with Oracle as an account manager. And after 5 years using technology to increase his sales, he realized his true passion, digital marketing.
There we are.
Since then, he launched more than 1,000 campaigns. He lectured for Digital Marketing Institute, Informa, and PwC. He's spoken on more than 50 conferences, including Google and NASA. He trained more than 10,000 executives across 4 continents, and he won 11 awards while writing a book called The Pizza Guide to Digital Marketing. That's a cool name. He is a CEO, digital marketing strategist, and a digital transformation advisor. Passionate about all things digital, he's been transforming industries and companies for more than a decade. Without further ado, I would like to welcome Mr. Christian Farioli.
Thank you so much, and I'm glad, Vuk, that you pronounce so well my surname.
Okay.
That's requires skills.
Thank you. I'm happy that you came, and I'm excited about our chat today. We'll be talking about your number one passion, which is digital marketing.
Wonderful.
So let's start from something that I picked up online when I was doing the research. You wrote on one of your channels that
Hope was nothing bad.
Let's see.
You never know what's come out.
Let's see. Let's see.
You
Are you ready? Well, when I Google your name, I found so many things that were actually hard to find everything.
All right.
So you wrote in one of the channels, I think it was a YouTube description or something like that you're going to radically change your clients' perception of digital and increase their sales in just 3 months.
That's true.
And so I'm wondering, how can you be so confident about that?
Now, first, because I launched my first campaign in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
That was 17 years ago. And I was working for Oracle at the time. So a lot of companies ever since have seen what's going on in digital, how it works, how it does not work. And then months after months, I realized that there are a few key elements that those are irrelevant of the sector, irrelevant of the product or the service. They always need to be there.
Awesome.
So this is something that is keep going.
That's a good positioning and message, and I'm sure that's getting you a lot of traction. We're going to talk a lot about digital marketing. Now I'm going to take us a couple of steps back and just ask you one of the questions that we ask all of our guests, since we are talking about and introducing people who are shaping and influencing this region. What made you pick Dubai as your hometown?
I'll tell you a funny story. I was here the first time in the year 2000 with my parents in holiday. And at the time I saw that the city was crazy. I mean, it was mind-blowing even in the year 2000. And I was lucky because thanks with my parents, I've been traveling at least a couple of times per year, visiting different cities. I've been to New York, Washington, to half of the globe actually. But then when I came to Dubai, I realized that there was something special, something way out of the ordinary.
What was that?
On top, one of the very, very rare things, that may sound funny for many of you, but we were staying in the Jebel Ali Golf Resort.
Okay.
Because at the time there were very, very few good hotels. And I remember that even at the top floor, there was a restaurant and the food was amazing.
Wow.
So being an Italian, I grew up a little bit picky for food. And so when I was here, I realized, this is incredible that in a place like this, even the food is going to be amazing.
Wow.
And then I remember that there was the 2 swimming pool. One was with the chilled water. That was really crazy for me to find a chilled water pool. The other was a salty water. And underwater, there was also music.
Wow, they were playing music underwater, right?
Yes, and then I remember that there was also a green grass. Looks like like a golf court, like an English golf court. Perfect.
In the middle of desert.
In the middle of the desert. On top, the sand was totally white. So there was obviously imported sand white. So it was so marvelous. And I got shocked that something like this can exist in the desert. And then I remember that one day we were staying like 2 weeks during the Eastern holiday. And already we booked like 4 months in advance through a normal travel agency. And it was almost fully booked. So 4 months before was already fully booked. And then I remember that one day my mother asked me, so Christian, how do you think about Dubai? Do you like it? And I say, look, Mom, I love this city. I need to finish my university. I need to build myself a curriculum.
Wow.
I need to learn English. And then I'm going to come back to Dubai and I'm going to make myself rich.
Wow.
This is what I told her.
This is what
in
you
the
told
year
her,
2000. Exactly. Like these words. And my mother looked at me like, what are you going to doing, stupid? Are you gonna come here working with the Bedouins? Of course,
and at the
she
time
was
in
laughing.
2000s, there was not really a lot of things developed at that time.
There was nothing developed,
Things
absolutely
were
nothing.
picking
There
up.
was just the Burj Al Arab was recently launched, but my father approved me and he said, look, I mean,
Follow your
if
dreams.
you stick your plan, you have my blessing.
Wow.
Like that. And my mother said, what your blessing? What is gonna come here working 6 hours from us, 6-hour flight from her mom. But then
Which is not usual for Italians, right?
Exactly, very good. You know them very well. So basically I stick with the plan and that's it. And then when I was working in Oracle, I was working 3 years in Dublin, in Ireland, and 2 years in Madrid, in Spain. And after 2 years, I realized what I'm doing here. I want to go to Dubai.
Wow.
Like that. I was just following Dubai in the news. I know many directors of Oracle. They used to travel quite often. And then I realized I need to go. That's it. So I call the regional country manager and I say, I still remember Vitor, very, very lovely guy. Say, Vitor, I don't feel continuing anymore. I say, why not? Sales are good. Numbers are good. Why not? Because I want to go to Dubai. He told me, where? Where do you want to go?
Oracle to come to Dubai.
I only make a couple of phone calls internally just to find out if I can get any relocation here. But they told me that it's clearly not because I need to speak fluent Arabic. That was definitely not going to be an option. I say, okay, I quit.
Wow, that was really
And Vitor
bold.
told me, let's wait at least 1 week. So you think about it. Okay. 1 week later, he was in Madrid. We met and say, so how are you? I say, I'm amazed. I want to go to Dubai. That's it. So I quit. And then I took a one-way flight to Dubai. Like
Wow.
that.
That's
And
really.
This was January 2007.
I heard a lot of different stories, people coming to Dubai, but I never heard this one. This was really bold.
But I remember that during the same days, there was also a friend of mine from Italy that was also coming to Dubai for an exhibition. It was like 1 week. So I decided to take a flight from Madrid to Milan and from Milan to Dubai the same day where he was coming. So at least the first week I was staying with him. And I still remember that when I took the first taxi with him from the airport to the hotel, the taxi driver asked us, so how guys, are you here for the Arab Plast, which was the exhibition for the plastic materials? And my friend said, yes, I'm here for Arab Plast, but my friend just relocated here, one-way flight. And the taxi driver said, it's normal, a lot of people are coming here today. And then I was thinking, that's a good answer.
That's a good
sign.
Good first sign.
Exactly. And then my friend asked the taxi driver, so do you think that he's going to find a job here? And the taxi driver say, look around how many buildings there are. Some building is going to build some office and some office is going to give you some job. That was his answer.
You know what? That's a very
okay.
simple way to look at it, but it makes sense.
Exactly. And I say, okay, that's a good start. And that's how I came here in January 2007.
Wow, that's an interesting story. It's so I came here also with my parents in 2003, but the difference is I didn't have a clue that I'm going to move here. And then fast forward 15, 20 years, it was really interesting. My parents coming to Dubai, we were sitting in this town that in the meantime built everything. We were sitting, looking around, me living here already for 6 years, my sister with her sons. So my parents were really, they used to fly here very often. So for them, that was unbelievable. If someone told them back in 2003 that we'll be all living here, it would be amazing. So tell me about the world of digital marketing and how did you, so we already introduced that you were working at Oracle on account as an account manager sales, and you were implementing a lot of technology, and then you found your passion for digital marketing. And
that's another funny story.
That's another funny story.
Yes. Actually, when I was in Italy working in Telecom Italia, I was the fourth person joining the company in the web division. The fourth,
wow.
Yes. So we were building websites for the large clients of the Telecom Italia group. So this was amazing. It was the first wave of the new economy, what was called the new economy. This was the year 2001. And this was booming. Everyone was talking about web, etc. And we were doing it. And I was very passionate about it. 1 year later, we were 70 people in the team. And then I realized that I had such a great experience. I know so many things. I'm a technical guy, IT engineer, but my salary was 1/5 of the salespeople, which they have no clue about digital, anything, no clue about web, no clue about nothing. Simply they were selling, and I was communicating with the client, explaining that in the technical way. They were making 5 times as much as myself. My salary at the time was 900,000 a month, Italian liras, which is give or take.
That was a long time ago.
I was almost $1 million a month in Italian liras, which was actually in today's money 2,000 dirham a month.
2,000 dirham a month.
A month. That was my salary as an IT engineer working top notch Telecom Italia. That was
studying for 15 years, you know.
Exactly, but still that was my passion. And then when I decided, okay, I'm gonna move into sales. So I went to learn English, following my plan, etc., etc. And then I moved to Dublin. And after 5 job interviews with the recruiter at Hunter and Oracle, etc., executives, they took me. And I started in sales. I was selling from the beginning. I was learning every possible tactic, etc. But then I was shocked how a technology company like Oracle, the company that invented database, like it's a Fortune 500, it doesn't have any technology to help increasing sales. So we had the CRM, Oracle CRM, ERP, etc., etc. But then when you look at how to get more clients, what activity the company is doing? Marketing, traditional marketing, exhibitions. And I was thinking, with all of my knowledge of these things called the computer and now the internet, I think I can figure out some way to help me generating more sales. And that's what I start doing it. Researching around, reading around, etc., etc. And I start discovering these things called Google Adwords. This was the year 2003. And then I realized, these things is amazing. I can plan some campaign and I can launch a campaign. So I spoke with my direct manager and he said, look, let's have a chat with the marketing team. Dublin is the EMEA headquarter of Oracle. I spoke with the marketing team and they told me, look, we don't really understand these things. We should ask the headquarter in San Francisco, the global headquarter. I say, okay, let's ask. I say, no, we cannot ask. We cannot call San Francisco for these things. I say, okay.
Why?
But then the country manager was also there. And then the country manager told me, Christian, to do a test with these things, how much money would it take? I say, 300-400 euro. I say, what? 300,000-400,000? No, 300-400 euro. I said, how can we pay? I say, with credit card. Take my American Express, corporate American Express, up to 500 euro a day. I don't even need to ask the permission to anyone. And I took his card, put inside, I've done my things. 1 week later, I start receiving inbounds.
No way.
I start receiving inquiry. And then everyone got shocked. So basically, that's how I launched my first digital marketing campaign in 2003. And this was a B2B. Because 7 years later or 10 years later, companies still think that digital marketing is for B2C, for business to consumer. Only to attract people to buy a flight, to buy e-commerce, to buy a new mobile phone. But actually, I was already generating clients and inquiry for B2B, business to business. But again, nobody had a clue. Actually, at the time, I didn't even know the difference between B2B and B2C. Because I never studied business. I'm an IT engineer. So what I realized is that I was missing a lot of business acumen. That's why at night I booked myself for a master in international business to understand what was going around. And then I learned the basic of international marketing, international finance, business, etc., etc. And then I started applying even better campaigns. But still at the time, I was a crazy guy doing crazy things that nobody really understands.
But they were bringing results.
Exactly. That was important. My commission were good, everyone happy. And then when I moved to Spain, I did exactly the same. So I replicate the same campaigns in Spanish language. And again, I think that Oracle at the time was probably one of the first, if not the first corporate advertising in Google Adwords.
Wow.
And I was doing it without the marketing knowing it about it. Just with the approval of the country manager for a little budget, without even knowing what was that.
500 euros at the time for Google AdWords was but like now 50,000 euros.
This lasted several months.
Exactly.
500 euros, it lasts several months.
Exactly.
Because I was paying 1 cent of dollar per click.
And now
no
it's
matter
like
what.
20 euros.
Yes, no matter what you search, investment, anything. Same thing when I moved to Dubai in 2007. I started working in real estate for Al Habtour, Jamal Al Habtour Real Estate. And again, I started launching campaigns. First, I asked the marketing department, can we do some online marketing activities? Online. Nobody buy properties online. It's a waste of time, waste of money. We don't do nothing about that. Good. I take my credit card and I did it anyway. I was not the perfect employee, to be honest. But I saw that the big potential was there and nobody realized it.
And it's amazing that nobody realized. So you're giving the examples over a span of 7-8 years, that this was always something new for people. And even after that, I remember in 2014, okay, things were already picking up, but it was still kind of underestimated. Amazing.
And still, even 13 years ago, when I was in Dubai in 2007, 2008, I used to spend 1 cent of dollar per click. Even people looking for real estate investment, real estate properties, real estate Dubai, like the biggest, most expensive keywords, I was paying 1 cent of dollar per
Amazing.
click. Nobody could understand that. Nobody could understand, no, you cannot sell online. No, property is different. There is nothing about it. We prefer a big banner in Shadeside Road, the biggest banner ever.
2 million dirhams a month.
7 million dirham per year. Special deal. Good price.
Good price.
Friendly
For
price.
you, boss, good price.
Friendly price, exactly. No problem, my friend. And that's how I started. And actually, 10 years ago, in 2010, I realized that there was a conference about a few topics about digital, etc. And when I went there, I met an American speaker and few other speakers. And for the first time, I've heard the word digital marketing.
So until then, it was not existing.
I was the crazy guy doing crazy things and nobody understands.
It was online, internet and marketing all together.
Something like this. Or Google pay-per-click. Somebody was calling Google pay-per-click, something like that. And then when I realized that American people that are way ahead of everyone else, they call these things digital marketing, then I realized, that's my thing. That's my passion. I'm going to do it full time, full power.
That's when you dropped everything and started your own business in digital marketing. Wow.
And how do you... At the beginning, even before getting the license for my company, at the beginning I was working as a freelancer. Because I say, I'm not going to spend money opening a company and set up everything without knowing how it's going to happen. And actually, as a freelancer, I got as a client at Thomson Reuter.
Wow.
And so after that, I realized, okay, now I cannot...
When
I send my bank account details, I send my savings account. My savings account. They invoice Christian Farioli with my savings account. So I had to create a company. And that's what I did 10 years ago. And that's it. And as we say, the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Exactly.
So now, after all these years in digital marketing, since... from the moment that you met the American guy who discovered for you the term digital marketing till now, this term has been, on a roller coaster ride. And a lot of people are describing digital marketing differently. What is digital marketing for you? How do you describe it?
I'll describe in the Italian way.
Okay.
Which is digital marketing is like pizza.
Everyone needs it, huh?
Which means that it's made with a lot of very good ingredients.
Okay.
But if you miss even one single ingredient, you're not gonna like it.
Wow. You worked on this, I can see. Now the book makes sense,
Exactly.
Wow. No, this is probably okay. This is one of the best descriptions I heard so far.
And I use always because it's a complex topic.
Yes.
Actually, 9 years ago, one of the speaker, they told me, but you are so funny speaking Italian. Why you don't speak at the next conference? You talk about something about what you're doing. I say, speaking at the conference, you are crazy. No, we're going to have a retreat and I would like you to have a chat because there are going to be like only 30 participants. Okay, I explained a few things, people enjoy. So the next conference, he hooked me in. And I was speaking in Daktak, in Mall of the Emirates, in front of more than 700 people.
Wow.
Funny story, out of 16 speakers, at the end, they were asking what was the most interesting presentation. They vote mine.
Wow.
Because I put a pizza. And even years later, whenever I train people, because then I started training for the Digital Marketing Institute and so on. And every time to explain complex subject, I use the pizza. Everyone understands pizza, right?
Exactly.
You don't understand search engine optimization and all of those fancy words. Pizza, everyone understands. And then even after several years, when they saw me around in a conference, oh, the pizza guy.
Pizza guy.
That's
wow.
it.
Well, that's it. When they ask you, okay, if you need to explain your business to a 5-year-old, how would you explain it? And then everyone is struggling because it's difficult. I think you cracked that that thing.
And I do many training even in a lot of different countries. I mean, sometime in Saudi, sometime in Asia,
everyone
etc.
knows pizza.
And I mean, everyone has a different opinion. Everyone, you don't know never the level of the audience. Somebody there are very strong business minds, but zero marketing, or strong marketing, strong creatives, but zero digital. Sometimes you have IT, very strong technical skills, but zero creative. Exactly. Pizza, everyone understands.
So on top of that question, the next one that follows is, what makes a great marketer today? I don't want to ask you how long does it take to get there, because the answer is obviously, you need, how they say, you need 10,000 hours to become an expert yes. in something. But what makes a great marketer today, given the very transformational period we're going through? Now, definitely what makes somebody great is the results that you bring. What I realize year after year after year is that actually another funny story. While I was in Oracle, before using these things, I used to hate marketing as a concept. Why? Because marketing is what makes you buy something even if the product is not good. I see. As an IT engineer, I'm focusing on the product, on the quality, on the product should work the best. But the marketing is what they can sell you, something that doesn't even work in a nice way, and you pay 3 times as much. So that I was always against marketing. And then I always thought that, okay, when the company is selling, it's because of the sales team. Mm-hmm. Now, the marketing, they cannot claim that the company is selling because of marketing, because there are salespeople that they contact clients and they close the deal and they close the sale. But then when I move into digital, when I realized that everything can be tracked from the beginning to the end. So everything can be traced down to how good and effective that marketing tactic was. And if something doesn't work, you clearly see that. So before, the typical digital marketing person, what was doing was trying to play around with social media. And when the company was selling a lot, who was to reward? The sales team and the sales director. Sales team, we close the deal, we make money, we pay all of your salary. Mm-hmm. When the company is not selling, who has to be blamed? Marketing. Marketing. You play Facebook all day. That's why we don't sell, right? Exactly. And that's what has been going on for a very long time. That's why one of the topics that I'm keen focusing a lot are the analytics, the numbers. Numbers, they don't lie. We can say, yeah, but we got lucky because of this, because of that. Maybe. There is also sometimes luck. But if the company keeps successfully, keep going up, then it's because of there is somebody behind that makes sure that the number works. Now, I don't say that a company grows only because of marketing. Obviously, there is a sales team, there is finance, there is the product, there are so many things. But as well, every one of them can be measured with some KPI. What works and what doesn't. Yeah, it's measurable. That's the important part of it. What changed over the previous 20 years? So you said that you were engaged in, you started with digital marketing back in 2003. We're now to 2021 soon. What changed over these 20 years? Actually, so many tactics were born every single day. Every time I was going to any conference, I went even overseas so many times at the beginning, because I say, now I want to know everything, unlimited. And I met so many other speakers, because speaking even internationally, I got the chance to meet the biggest guys in the world. And then I was spending time with them. Typically, after a conference, there are always 2-3 days where the speakers hang out together, and we were exchanging ideas. We are part of the same mastermind. And I realized that every day there is a new crazy, typically Americans, that they know something better, faster, cheaper, stronger. And they claim that it's absolutely the best. Nobody can get better than that. Which maybe is true. Yes. Until the next day. Until the next day when somebody else come out. So then I realized that there are so many tactics. And first, every day there is something new. Then every 3 to 6 months, there is something big. Major. New. There's a new social network coming out. When Facebook got launched, nobody believed in Facebook. I remember still one of the first conference when I was explaining companies how to get business out of Facebook. They were reluctant. They were told me, Christian, look, we are a big group. We are a serious company. We cannot be in Facebook. We're never going to put my face, my name, my company in Facebook. Are you joking? Are you crazy? This was the answer. And then, slowly, the little guys, they didn't have any marketing budget. They start opening their own little Facebook page, doing some things, start getting traction, start growing. And then the big guys, a few years later, they were coming back.
Christian, how come that we are the biggest company in the region, and these guys that they were born 1 or 2 years ago, they have so many Facebook likes, and we don't have any? You miss the train. It's never too late, but basically, just social media was one of the channels. So when people start waking up, looking at social media, so many other channels start. And companies and people were not ready for it. They were thinking, no, this is not going to work. No, we need to wait. Now, it's too late. Now it costs you a lot more to grow a company like that.
As they say, the best time to start with social media was 10 years ago. The next best time is today. So,
exactly.
Now, when you're dealing with your clients and you're working with big corporates, obviously now everyone is aware that digital marketing is something they need to do.
Yeah.
Right. What's the first thing that you ask them?
What is your digital marketing strategy?
Okay.
And typically I got few similar answers. One typical answer is, you need to ask my social media guy. Now, social media, it's a good thing, it's a big thing, it's not the only thing. So a strategy based on social media, good, it's a social media strategy. But what is the overall digital marketing strategy? Do you have anyone? Or it's just simply, ask my social media guy? Or other answer is, yeah, look, we have a paper. Because I've been to the massive agency and they come out with a strategy for us. Then I look, that's a concept strategy. Concept means a creative strategy. The typical creative strategy, creative agency, they come out with a nice creative concept, which is beautiful. But how is it implemented digitally? Simply by posting in social media, that's not a digital marketing strategy. So I realized that obviously 10 years ago, 17 years ago, if I was launching any kind of pay-per-click campaign, even the core completely wrong one, I was getting clients. Social media campaign, even if it's completely wrong, you were getting clients. But months after months after months, the more players there are, the better you need to become. And I remember even the first big things I launched was the Jitex shopper in World Trade Center. That was quite a long time back. And then again, there was a social media agency doing an amazing job. Posting, engaging, really top notch. And that was maybe like 10 years ago. But they were doing no advertising. That was part of what, in my opinion, was a good strategy. So there were 3 weeks before Jitex shopper, and they don't have enough bookings. So then I've done a few campaigns on top, and in 3 weeks, blast, full. Now, at the time, I remember I spent 18,000 dirham in Facebook advertising. So 18,000 dirham to promote something like Jitex shopper.
Wow.
Globally in GCC.
18,000 dirhams was
no limits.
Small billboard per day.
Exactly, no limits. At the time, nobody had a clue about what to do, aside of social media. Now social media got a lot more, now it got evolved. But at the same time, that's not enough. You cannot expect that out of Facebook you get all of your clients. It's true that in Facebook there are 2.5 billion people and counting and more every day. But not everyone is going to react to your message, and not everyone is active so much in Facebook. Especially if you sell B2B services. I mean, I'm an executive, you are an executive. I'm sure that you have other things to do rather than browsing Facebook all day. Because we have a business, we have a life. So there are something that need to be recognized, that if you don't do your study ahead, even the buyer persona, target audience, there are proper exercise to do that. Simply you launch a campaign, which looks beautiful. Everyone liked the campaign, but the results are not coming.
Where do you think companies are making mistakes when you engage with a client? And obviously you introduce the first question, do you have a strategy? Usually the answer is either they have it but it's not executed, or they don't have it at all. What are the following next biggest challenges that you face in order to actually get them off the ground and start implementing something?
So in many cases they've been advised by X amount of people on some specific topics. So they say, yeah, my friend told me to do that, but this other guy told me to do that, but this other guy told me to do that. And the marketing manager told us that we need to change the website.
So everyone has an opinion.
Exactly. It's I remember even from the old days of website development, when you talk about web development, in any organization, everyone become an expert.
that's true.
From the chairman to the coffee boy, everyone want to participate in this discussion because everyone love to say their own idea about websites. Yeah, my friend told me that we need to do this. I've read that it need to be that. Yeah, a friend of mine is an expert and he told me that we should do like that.
How do you work against that? How do you fight that?
Good, do it. And they look at me like, oh, what? No, we need to ask your opinion. So, if you know how to do something, you do it. If you don't know how to do something, you hire somebody that knows how to do it. So, we talk, and then my point is that whatever you think that is right is not important. Even what I think that is right is not important. The only person that can judge if you're right or wrong are our customer. Our target audience, they need to like, and they need to get through, and they need to buy our product. Even if all of us, we don't like it, our customer will decide if it's good or not. So we are nobody to decide if it's good or not. So this is to stop the bias of the company. Because typically senior managers are people of a certain age and they don't have the same idea and mentality of the typical buyer. Senior executives are CEO, chairman, managing director, general manager, senior manager, VP. They have a business acumen, they have experience, they have this and this and this. They're not a regular customer. A regular customer is probably somebody from the purchasing department, somebody from a normal human being or a consumer. So this, I need to put them into perspective that working with numbers, with charts, with analytics, etc., it's a different game than thinking that I know. Thinking that I know how to do better.
That makes sense. It's not about what they think. It's about what customers can prove or what the numbers can prove.
Yeah. And typically before taking the big decision, I always look at the number first. So
if they have it.
If they have it, possibly. Exactly. Or before launching some big things, I say, look, let's run something first. And after we run it for 2 or 3 months, then we got enough data and we know what to do next. Some activity like search engine optimization, that seems that everyone in the planet know how to do it perfectly, even though there is only one first results. Everyone else, it's a loser. Even with SEO, everyone believes that they know which keyword are the best to use. But you don't know which one is going to convert more, which one is going to get you more traffic. You think how your customer think, but that's not right. I prove 99 times of 100 that this mentality is wrong. So we launch a few other campaigns first, and after 1, 2, or 3 months, we know exactly what are the number one keywords to optimize, and then we do also SEO. So basically, the digital marketing strategy or a roadmap is not like what the good things to do, or like so many so many marketing managers ask me what I should post in social media. Wrong question. When you ask me what I should post, you are so far behind, because first, if I tell you what you should post, you're not gonna like it and you're not gonna do it, because that's what works, but you don't like. Second things, first we need to understand a lot more what's happened before and what's gonna happen after, because you post about something, but when the person go inside your website and they're missing other chunks, you're gonna lose the clients anyway. It's not gonna come with you anyway. So the roadmap is much longer than that and include steps. You cannot do everything now. Okay, if you have $1 million a month, of course you can do everything now without any limitation, etc. Otherwise, there should be a roadmap that tell you exactly what every month are the activities that should be done. Aside social media. We all know that social media is beautiful because everyone likes to play with it, but there are so many other activities that need to be done, even from inside each and every single digital asset, which can be the website, which can be any social media page, the aggregators, if you are distributing also through websites, through other aggregators, etc. That's an holistic strategy. That's an approach that includes a lot more stuff than simple the social media campaign.
So before we dive deeper into the holistic approach to digital marketing, provide some practical advices. Tell me, what is a commonly held belief about digital marketing that you passionately disagree with?
That's I mean, everyone is keen for the website. Because the website. We need to redesign.
That's a reflection of our
the
company.
website. The website is everything. And it takes forever. And then people like to get, something simple. Just something simple. Something simple. Not complicated. They want something simple, nice, clean, that people understand.
But simple.
Look, like Apple. You see Apple website, something simple like that. Why so difficult? Now, the Apple phone is the most simple phone out of every possible phone. It's also the most expensive. Because to make something very simple, it takes a lot of skills and a lot of top-notch engineers and usability experts. That's one thing. The same thing is the website. Apple website is simple. What is the most simple and the most expensive website of everyone? Google.com.
The simplest one.
Simplest. One message, one box, finish. Simple. And it's like that since the invention of Google has not changed. But to maintain that website, there are 50,000 employees behind. So to do something simple is very complicated.
So when you talk about a website, it's more about the value, right? That Google is providing you the value. It's simple, but it's providing you a big value. It's also.
And then something very difficult for people to accept is that a website without good graphics and good pictures can sell.
Cannot.
Yeah, I mean, everyone believes that should be beautiful. Look how beautiful my company is. Google doesn't have any picture? No. It's still the most used website ever.
No, that's true.
I don't say that you should do a website without picture.
Yeah.
But I say that it's very difficult and challenging to convince people on websites. And sometimes, according to the roadmap or even to a digital marketing strategy, even without a website, you can sell. You have only one landing page, you can sell. You have only one video and a data capture, and you can sell. Or even if you don't have nothing, you simply do a social media campaign and you get directly click, inquiry, phone call leads from your social media.
Yes, so basically what you're saying is the website is just playing a piece of a puzzle in one holistic approach to digital marketing. It's just one of the elements. While I understand people as well, they see website as the face of the company.
Exactly.
It's their office online, so they want it to look beautiful. But what they're missing is that
when
usually they overthink.
Doesn't mean that it converts.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean that it gets clients.
One of the comparisons that some of my friends are giving is that you can build a beautiful hotel, but if you put it in the middle of desert without the roads around your hotel, nobody can come.
That's a perfect metaphor.
So I think that's something to build on top of your pizza metaphor.
Even if you open a Ferrari shop in the middle of the desert, nobody will ever buy your Ferrari, right?
Exactly. Or fuel station, in the middle of the desert, and nobody will buy. So on top of the previous question, what are some of the stuff that you would say that everyone needs to stop doing in digital marketing?
Stop doing it is stop listening at people that they don't have the right to speak.
Okay. And what should everyone
Let's say,
start doing?
Nobody can argue with my mother about lasagne.
Okay.
She knows the right formula. Nobody can say no. She's right. Now, my mother cannot claim with me that she needs to teach me how to do digital marketing, right? So the same things. When you listen to somebody, you should evaluate first if he is good enough to talk about that subject. Digital marketing used to be one-person job. But even marketing used to be one-person job. Now there is internal communication, external communication, corporate communication, PR, events, etc. So even marketing becomes a spectrum of different services. Digital marketing used to be one-man job. I remember many years ago I met a very nice guy, Munir, from Oman, and he was the first person working in digital marketing for Etihad Airways. I still remember that. He was very nice. He's the guy that opened and started the Facebook page of Etihad Airways. That was one-person job, digital marketing. Now there are probably 40, 60 or 60 or more people in digital marketing department. So now it's about specialization. Even within social media, there is not anymore the social media guy. When you look at the big groups, they have the community manager, they have the strategist, they have the photographer, the videographer, the live, the listener. So now the jobs become a job of a lot of people. So nobody knows everything. As much as I spent 17 years in this and teaching to probably more than 10,000 individuals, I know that I don't know everything. Every day when I go to a conference, I always get amazed, not the conference in Dubai, but the conference in US, for example, how many topic and subject and things they go into the digital marketing basket. But then again, I accept the advice for somebody about SEO when I recognize that he's a number one for SEO. I accept the advice from somebody about social media when I know that he's a top social media strategist and he proved that has done amazing results. So these are the things, just to listen at people for the results that they got before in that specific topic.
Ray Dalio calls that trustability factor.
True.
So you need to build your trustability for the given person that you're talking to.
Yeah.
And based on that, evaluate how much of the suggestion you're going to accept and how much you're going to take with cautious.
Yeah.
So on the other side, contrary, what should everyone start doing?
What everyone should start doing it. First, they should start evaluating the performance of their digital marketing activity. This is an extremely difficult exercise to evaluate the ROI of all of the money that go into digital. So you don't have only one bucket. Typically you put a little bit in SEO, a little bit in Google, a little bit in Facebook, a little bit in TikTok, a little bit here and there and there and there. But you need to be able to figure out each money that you put in your digital marketing activity, what's the ROI of it?
What makes it challenging?
This is an exercise of a strategist. Because you put money in Facebook, Facebook doesn't tell you, because of this you generate so many sales. Because of this you generate so many leads. Doesn't tell you that. You need to have a proper analytic framework set up properly, so then you can attribute the results to XYZ, the strategy. And then you know that you put money here, you get that. You put here, you get that. Then I remember that I got a couple of times from a client, they were keen to launch a Snapchat campaign. And then I told them, look, in your sector, for this kind of type of service that you offer, I believe that this is absolutely is not going to work, because that's absolutely is not the platform for do this. But was so keen to do it because a friend told her that it's going to work, it's amazing, the result that they got with such and such companies. Good, do it. I have no problem. After 1 month, they come back with a report of how many clicks they got to the website. They got more than 50,000 clicks in 1 month. So for this person, it was a massive success. I said, perfect. Let's see our internal report. So out of those 50,000, less than 30,000, they were real number and clicks coming through. And then out of 30,000 supposed visitors, how many of those, at least they went to the contact page, at least they went somewhere, at least they've done something to let me understand that these are good people.
Showing
for
some
the business.
intention to do business.
Exactly how many? 1.
Out of 50,000.
Yes. So you can pay little or a lot, but 50,000 people that they go to your website and they don't even go to find out what's your company location or phone number or anything. Zero. Zero.
So just to kind of take out one quick conclusion, and on the market, it's very often that you can see companies promoting or buying clicks. It's not about buying clicks.
As well.
Because you can buy clicks easily.
Yes.
Okay, I'm promoting. I can bring you 100,000 clicks for $5,000 if you want.
Yeah.
You can
even
make
for less.
Even for less. Or we need to
but
make
actually,
some. We need to make some. But
okay.
It's about conversion, right?
Yes.
It's about the quality of the clicks that you're getting and who is coming to your website.
And even the good clicks, you can even launch a Google campaign and get 0 results. If you don't do your homework, if you don't know enough about your markets, your segment, your target audience, and how you're going to get that target audience, from which channels you're going to get them, you're going to get the wrong person.
Exactly.
You spend $100,000 to get the wrong individuals to your company website or company social media page. Nobody of them is going to call you. Nobody of them is going to contact you or doing business with you because they're not the right people.
So another practical advice, just trying to extract as much value as possible for the listeners. Okay, you are engaging in a digital marketing campaign and you are offered a strategy that is going to cover Facebook ads, Google ads, a bit of SEO, exploring and flirting with TikTok maybe now, Snapchat, and that's all cool. But it's important that you map those activities against the results that you're making internally, and extract the numbers from internal reports which are coming from sales tools and CRMs, and to compare how many of those leads actually brought you a tangible sales lead that you can work on, so that you can evaluate what's the ROI.
Yes, I'm looking for a job because I will hire you now.
Okay. So that's one of the practical advice for anyone out there, marketing people who are looking to start the strategy, and that's what everyone should start working on. But it's interesting. This is another example where something is very intuitive. If you would ask anybody, does it make sense? Everyone would tell you, well, it makes perfect sense. If I'm investing, I want to see what's the result of that investment. But people very often go on the side of clicks. Yeah. That's sexy. I think. And people think like 100,000 likes. Wow, I received so many likes. From who exactly?
It's a vanity. Vanity is still the biggest problem of marketing.
Yes.
Because still the senior managers, they love to see 1 million likes. We have 1 million likes. How many you have? 500,000. Haha, I have more likes than you. That's vanity.
Well, there are two aspects, right? There is something that is called brand awareness, which maybe you can measure by likes. There is something that are sales results. So it depends what you're after, right?
At the same time, how many likes are real and how many of those are fake?
Exactly.
You get YouTube views. How many of those are real? How many of those are fake?
Exactly.
So, all of those vanity metrics, unfortunately, they get easily changed by tricks, by cheap clicks, or by wrong tactics.
So back at the time, maybe 5 years ago, we were doing a bit of digital marketing ourselves as well, and then we were facing some of the clients that were giving us reports. So we asked them for a report, and they sent us an Excel sheet that were given to them by the agency. So I asked them, okay, this is the report that you got? Excel file with the numbers. And then I returned them the Excel file and increased the numbers by 3 zeros, And then they go, no, this is the actual file. You got 3 times more than this. I think that people are easily played when it comes to...
Actually, I cannot mention names, but I know some people that are in the industry, and then they left some company, and then we know what was going on. Actually, even when they do some print shot, some print screen of some chart, they Photoshop the numbers. So that's next level of fraud. So,
which is all just saying and in just supporting the idea that the metrics that you're getting from analytics or any type of reporting without the actual sales support and results on the side of what you actually sold doesn't make sense. It's not important.
Your own report is what should be the most accurate as possible. Because if you rely only on the report that the agency provides and you don't have a counterpart just to see that you are on the right track, you never know.
That's why you need a strategist, not someone who's just going to run a campaign for you. Yeah. And that's what makes a difference on the market as well. So if you have to point out or to bet on top 3 elements of a campaign that are influencing the results the most, what would be top 3?
And the first is the proper tracking and setup of analytics. Okay. Even if you're not selling with e-commerce, you have a company and you want to get clients. Still, there is a massive amount of time that we dedicate with every new clients to set up properly each event, each tracking in analytics. Because otherwise you launch a campaign, you don't know how many clients you get at the end of the month. And myself as a marketer, I don't know how many clients you get either.
Which is important for you.
For the first month, okay, I do the best possible just to get the best results. After 1 month, how can I optimize my campaign to get better results? It's not just about clicks. Because if I want to get clicks, I can advertise, come to my company and you win a Ferrari. Good, everyone will ever click. Nobody will ever call you. So exactly. The number of clicks doesn't matter, are never so relevant.
So number 1 is setting up the analytics.
Yes.
That comes from establishing some goals as well, right?
Exactly. There are also tracking the events. Even, for example, when somebody make a phone call, I know even out of our clients, at what time of the day the majority of prospects, they make phone calls. Now, I don't know if in the other party somebody answered the phone. I have no idea. But it's happened already with some clients. We saw that there was a spike during lunchtime, but then the client, they have one receptionist, and during lunchtime, she was having a break. So nobody was there. Everyone need to have a break.
Exactly.
If the phone rang, it's okay. When she finished the lunchtime, she's going to answer the phone. So after that, they start monitoring the telephone system and even changing the time of her going for lunch break. She was there, but one was not enough to handle all of the inquiry.
Wow.
So they put 3 persons.
During the lunch break.
During lunch break. The same things I remember with one of my very old students. I still remember him very, very well because he took a lot that he learned and really applied. He was the head of digital marketing for Ajman University. And then he realized that it's true these things. He started noticing that on social media, a lot of comments appear that they were mentioning that every time that I try to call at the phone, nobody answered. And then he was looking at the bad comments. That makes your university looks ugly. So they started checking at the receptionist. She was there with the headphones perfectly. She well organized and was constantly taking phone calls, like 60, 70 calls a day, even 80. Very, very professional. A machine.
Wow.
Filipino lady, a machine. 80 calls a day. Then they checked the phone system. They were coming through 300, 350 calls a day. So of course, you cannot handle that enough. Now, imagine that one phone call, a lot. The major of the phone calls were from students asking, tomorrow, where the professors has the exam? What's the timing? What's the schedule? What's the things? Typical university phone calls. But there were 4 calls like, I want to bring my kids to that university. I want to have a visit. I want to have a tour of the campus. Now we're talking about Ajman, which is kind of far away. You don't take your car and go to Ajman randomly and then maybe nobody's going to be there. So imagine you miss one phone call like that. You miss one student, you miss maybe 60,000 dirham per year. So in 5 years, it's 300,000 dirham.
It's a big loss.
You miss one phone call and you may lose 300,000 dirham. That's a lot. So what they did, the guy was so focused, he convinced the board of the university to have a call center. So they put a little room, and a university is plenty of rooms, and they set up a call center environment with 6 spaces, 6 desks, and then the guy, like the team leader of the call center, and even with the monitor, recording the number of calls coming in, the calls answer, the average call waiting, and the call not answer. So, of course, they had to put 6 people on rotation in the call center, and then not one single complaint about nobody answered the phone.
But it's easy to make that kind of a decision when you have...
Technically, it's not the marketing manager job, but it's the marketing manager job to realize that there is a gap somewhere else, there is a bottleneck, so they need to inform the operation, the chief of operation, to say, look, we're getting traffic, phone calls or something, but it gets stuck somewhere. So if not enough people can walk through that door, maybe we need to put the door bigger.
Exactly.
So he should inform the operation. And then his job, what it is, to at least to track those kind of numbers. Not if people answer correctly or not. That's not his job. But at least to see, look, the digital customer journey, which start in social media or start in a traffic source, then go to a phone call, and then X amount of phone calls, then they become something. They become inquiry, they become waste of time, they become good things, good leads, or students, or sales. This should be still part of the digital marketing team to measure the performance. Now, if the company is huge, they have a huge team, they should have a person which is in charge of maybe analytics or maybe numbers. I remember another student of mine, he used to be the analytic person for IMAR.
Okay.
The entire group, IMAR hospitality, real estate, and malls. So his job was 8 hours a day to crunch numbers and analytics and stuff like this for marketing. Now, when you are IMAR, you can pay a person that can do this job.
Even a team of people, because it's when you said they decided to engage 6 people in the whole center, they could justify that investment because they had numbers to prove it.
Of course.
So if you replicate it now on something like a website and only digitally, we can say, okay, if we're getting 500 people visiting our landing page or a website, and from some reason, 450 are leaving after a couple of seconds, there is something wrong about it. So there is so coming to the number 1 out of 3, Number one would be analytics and establishing a good analytics strategy and mapping out all of the data, right, that you want to capture.
Yes.
So that's number one. Number two
is to have the right traffic sources.
Okay.
Which means that, if you ask a Facebook employee, what do you need to get more clients? What do you think they will answer? You need a Facebook campaign.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask a Google employee, what do you need to get more clients? What do you think it would answer? You need a Google campaign.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask a web designer, how can I get more clients? What do you think it would answer? You need a new website. That's simple, right?
Yeah.
If I'm selling pizza and you ask me, what's the best food? Pizza, obviously.
Hot dog.
Hot dog, no way.
I would be a bad salesman.
No way, exactly. So obviously everyone
sells
needs
their
to
own.
sell their own stuff, and not only sell, everyone knows their own stuff. A Facebook employee, after working 5 years in Facebook, he doesn't know anything else. He's not even allowed to talk about the word Google. Same thing with a Google employee. I met a guy that used to work 3 years in Facebook and 3 years in Google.
Wow.
Then he can talk both.
Wow.
A very, very rare case. But that's the idea. So to get to know what is the right traffic source, you need to understand all of them very well. So then you can say which one is good and which one is not good. And not only knowing them very well, knowing who is your target audience. Because if you are B2B or B2C, massive difference, massive. If you need to sell, if you are a pizzeria, you need to sell 100, 200, 300 pizza a day to survive. If you are a B2B company, you sell any kind of service, maybe you get one client a week. You are perfect. You are happy. So it's a completely different approach. Even if sometime you may use the same platform to get traffic, it's a completely different game.
But even with all of these, with all of the knowledge that you have as an expert, these are still assumptions to a certain degree until you go out there, try it out and measure whether they're bringing results, right?
There is still a trial and error. Now, marketing itself, it's a big trial and error activity. Even traditional marketing, even the biggest marketer, the biggest creative agency, they have no idea what's going to happen after they launch a campaign. Even if you launch 1,000 campaigns for 30 years, you don't know what's going to happen. Today, one campaign is successful. Tomorrow, for a similar brand, a similar product, it's going to be a failure.
The more experienced you are, the better you are with your guesses, but you can never be 100% sure what would be the result, right? So that's number two.
The beauty of digital is that when you launch something, you always have the eye to check what's going on.
Which you can do with
you
offline.
You can still adjust a little bit. Maybe it's not perfect now. Okay, let's adjust a little bit. And I remember still many years ago where we launched a campaign for Abu Dhabi Science Festival. The first time that Abu Dhabi launched the Science Festival, which is a festival for kids. We target kids and we target parents. The parents want something nice for their kids to become smart, to go to school and learn more. The kids, they want to have fun. So the campaign about a robot, laser beam, the crazy guy with lightning bolt in the head. Perfect. But then after few days we realized that the campaign of adults had a slightly different behavior than the campaign of kids. They were all going okay. And then we realized we're targeting kids, but there are kids boys and kids girls. But we're targeting only kids. So then we realized, let's split the kids between boys and girls. Boys, blue, lightning bolt, laser. The girls, pink, Lisa Simpson with the science book, becoming a scientist. We nailed it.
Wow.
We killed it.
Yeah.
So the campaign was lasting 2 months. So it's not that we launch a campaign, now nobody can touch it. 2 months, so what?
Yeah.
We realize that there is room for improvement, even after a few days, why not?
Okay, so these were number one and number two. So we had analytics and we had defining the right sources, right?
Yes, target audience, traffic, etc.
And number three?
Number three is the churn.
The churn?
The churn.
The churn?
The churn.
Okay.
The churn rate.
That Italian or English? What is that?
It's a concept very well known in Silicon Valley, in the startup world, where basically measure how many clients you are losing every year.
I see.
Because when I
how many existing clients I'm losing.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you are recurring clients that they come to you, and every month they pay a subscription. At the end of the year, every company will say, we got 20% more clients than last year. Amazing. How many you lost? And they look at me like, what? We got 20% more.
How many you
lost? Because the returning clients, somebody that every month pay the subscription, every month, good. After 1 year,
Stop.
It got you money for 1 year, and then he stopped.
Why did he stop?
Some clients, for sure, they will stop. But if you get 20% more and you lose 10% of your clients,
that's 10% growth.
Exactly. If you get only 15% more, but you lose 5, it's exactly the same. But you spend less in marketing. Because to keep a client happy, it costs typically 20 to 30, up to 50 times less than acquiring a new client. To acquire a new client, who are you? What do you want from me? I don't trust you. How I'm going to show that you're going to do a good job. So there is a lot of time, a lot of effort into it. After your client, that's it. Keep going. So when a client decided to stop, it's a big deal. And even in hospitality, they've done some calculation, some study. When you answer the phone and somebody is asking you anything about hotel, you think, oh, it's another boring client that is going to book maybe 300 dirham room for 1 night, and that's it. When the huge organization in hospitality, they do the calculation of the lifetime value of a client, it turned out that many companies, they have an average of $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. The average lifetime value of a client.
Wow.
So once you know that...
Average, $40,000, yes. $50,000, $60,000.
Yes. So once you communicate that to the receptionist, when she take the phone, she knows that he's speaking with the $60,000 client. Not 200 dirham per night, who care about one client more or less. So one phone call, it can maybe make $50,000.
Wow, that's an interesting
So
angle.
the entire things change the perspective.
Yeah.
Then you think, I find a way to keep the clients.
Now,
Starbucks can spend up to $2,000 to get a new client. I think I need to pay.
Starbucks is spending, that's data, $2,000.
Up to $2,000 to get a new client. And you think, that's a lot of money. And then you buy just a coffee. I pay $2,000 to get you, and you only get a coffee. How many
coffees do you need?
And the small one, not even the large, the small one. And with the croissant, no croissant, only coffee.
Oh, come on.
But statistically, the average Starbucks client stay with Starbucks 35 years. Statistically, they consider until you die. Because the only time that you have to stop drinking coffee is when you die. So, during those 35 years...
Unless you're Christian.
Exactly. So, during those 35 years, you drink a lot of coffee. And of course, you make profit for the company.
Eventually
but the company needs to be
yeah.
smart to calculate the lifetime value of a customer. That's not an easy thing. That's why CRM are getting smarter. Data strategy are getting more important for organizations, because otherwise, yeah, but I spent so much money and today we only sold 1 mug. Why bother? But those clients that they got only 1 mug, what statistically out of the past they bought in 5 or 10 years? Because maybe each client that start maybe bought 55 mugs, plus he averagely referred 3 friends, and each one of the 3 friends got 3, 4, 5 mugs. So one sale today, it's a person that probably has a value of maybe $10,000, $20,000. Even if today got only the mug. So this is something, the loyalty is something that clients, they still don't rely on. They always want to get new customer. How can we get new customer? Think first, how can you get the old customer? How can you keep the old customer?
Keep the customer.
And then sometimes you lose the customer. Sometimes you need to find a way to get them back. I remember even by the old days in Oracle, we were doing sometime campaigns to win back customers. Those that for 4 or 5 years, they never bought any Oracle product ever. They used to be clients before, and then they stop. 4 to 5 years, they stop. For some reason. Nobody knows. Stop. But we have a massive database. Of course, we built a database in Oracle in the past. So we were contacting them. Chit-chatting, find out how it's going, and then a lot of them, they remember. Yeah, remember I used to have Oracle, but then suddenly, in most of the cases, they stop using Oracle because the salesperson changed, and they don't like too much the new salesperson. They don't like too much the account manager. the new version was not so good and somebody from IBM or Microsoft convinced them to go for their own version of the software. But I mean, 5 years later, imagine how many advancements there are, how many new products and services can be offered. And that's, we got back a decent amount of them. Wow. So this is still part of the loyalty. And for me, attached to the loyalty, the next, because loyalty started by sending mailing lists. The mailing list is the oldest way to keep a client loyal. Even if you don't give me a special promotion, just by sending me the email, say, hey Christian, Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, Eid Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem.
There's so many things that you can do. Yeah.
Exactly, and you don't need to think. Every month there are 1 or 2 celebrations that you can send. You can go, yeah. The Chinese New Year, the Persian New Year, the something else. So it's always an excuse. At least then I think, oh, that's I remember the guy. That was very nice. Let me call him. And I remember a nice story that when I moved to Dubai, one of my favorite places to have a lunch with my friends was Wagamama. Uh-huh. And then we were going to Wagamama quite often, at least once a week, at least. Then for some reason, we stopped going, and then basically we lost completely Wagamama for maybe 5 or 6 years. And then one day I got a call from the marketing manager of Wagamama because it was a connection through friends, and they wanna have a chat with us and to see if we can help them growing, etc. When I went to their office, I was thinking, this was my favorite place, #1 favorite. For some reason, I lost the eyesight, I lost the touch. The food quality was always constantly perfect, good, never a mistake. I just lost the touch. I never saw the message, the brand, the logo, nothing. I haven't saw anything around. And I lost it, forgot about it. So simply by not being there, that's why we say even McDonald's, that is extremely profitable, everyone knows McDonald's, is still advertising. Why is that? Everyone knows McDonald's. But if McDonald's stop putting the burger or the Ronald McDonald or the special sandwich or the one dirham menu burger something, you're going to lose track. One day, you're going to say, let's get the burger. Yeah, there is Burger King, let's get in Burger King. And suddenly, boom, you are lost. You'll be a churn for McDonald's. So that's very important to keep track with the customer. But as I say, the oldest and easy way to do loyalty is simply mailing list.
Yeah.
The next step, how loyalty evolve into advocacy. What means that you like my product so much and you talk with your friends. You like the product so much, you talk with your friends. And with your mother, with your brother, with your sister, with somebody else. Now, this is the standard word of mouth. Online, this can be amplified a lot. If you tell somebody, maybe the person now will know me. If you post online, then probably 10, 20, 30, 100, 200 people will know about it. Even with a simple review. The review, it's a multiplicator of online advocacy. And like that, there are so many other tactics that companies are simply doing everything in a pot. To make a pizza, you need the 7 ingredients in the right order. If you put all of them in a basket, exactly, you mix, you throw to the oven, and you cook for 1 minute, it's not going to come a pizza.
It's not going to be the same.
There is an order of the ingredients. The same things, even the activity, the marketing activity should follow an order. Otherwise, you have a big budget, yeah, let's do everything. And then yes, you don't make a pizza.
So we said 3 things. So we said analytics. We said choosing carefully the channels that you're going to use for communication, right?
Very good, yes.
And the churn, which I love now as a concept, because I do believe that you can learn more, at least equally, from losing a client, like winning a new one.
Yeah.
And sometimes analyzing why you lost a client can give you better insights than analyzing, your audience and trying to get a new one. But if you would have to bet on one and put your money on only one of these, what would that be out of these
Analytics.
3? Analytics, number
because
1, absolutely.
Even now, it's getting more and more and more popular, the concept of data science. Data science used to be the typical things of geeks. What he's doing? It's a data scientist. He's doing his own data things. Now, every organization in every department realize that if you don't have a data scientist that can read the data and they can read the story behind the data, you're not going to go anywhere.
I see.
The CFO is a good data scientist to read the financial data. It's well known. Now, in marketing, how a marketing manager can read digital marketing data. There are so many metrics, so many names, so many type of data. And the only thing that they see is how many likes, how many clicks, and how many people we reach today. But there are a lot more metrics.
More than that.
And especially find out where the metrics come from. So that's why we say it's data science becomes also the art of reading the story behind the data. Because the data can show you, oh, now it's going down. But have you looked at the past 5 years?
Maybe it's normal.
Because we notice in many cases that there is a seasonality. Mm-hmm. In July and August was a little bit lower. In December was always higher. And then in January was always lower. So you start working in December, and then in January they tell you, oh, the numbers are going down. Okay, let's go the past 5 years, what the numbers say.
Don't make
because during reactions. 1 year we need to make the revenue, but don't compare potatoes with bananas. If we compare December with December, January with January. Today there's been COVID. Oh, numbers are going down. Of course, we are in a sector that everyone is closing. We cannot expect that we are wizard and we revenue double than last month. We have a 5 store instead of 7. Numbers are going down. Of course, we cannot deliver. We cannot supply some area of the city. We cannot expect miracles. We need to compensate somewhere else. We find a way to compensate, but we need to compare. We need to read the story behind the data. This spike, it's a good spike, and it came because of this and this and this. This is a bad situation, and it came because of this and this and this and this. It's not a justification. It's simply understand and read what's the situation behind. So then we can work. Next year, we know that in January is going to be a big drop down. So we plan in advance a promotion just to keep more people on a regular basis for December. That's why restaurant invented the ladies' night, because Tuesday was a dead day for restaurants, the worst day ever. But in the middle of week, somebody find out there's a trick to do the ladies' night, and the restaurant is still full. So why not everyone else copying it?
I didn't know about it.
In the middle of the week.
I didn't know that's the concept.
In the middle of the week, at least you get people there. Easy. Now a lot of Italian restaurants, they do the aperitivo. On Saturday night. Uh-huh. Because Saturday is a dead day. Since Sunday, it's a working day. But if you do aperitivo Saturday is busy.
That makes sense. So, okay, I love it. I would agree as well. Analytics and whether the digital marketing or anything else that you're doing, numbers are one of the influential businessmen out there on popular social media channels said once when they asked him, for you, what's business for you? He said numbers. Business is numbers.
Yeah, true.
The more numbers you have, the better businessman you will be. You more efficiently will drive your business.
Agree.
When we bring content into perspective, there is an enormous number of social media now out there, opportunities for one to engage with their audience and communities, and there is increasing numbers of content volume that is being out there. How do you? What's your take on content?
Content is, in some way, it's one of your windows, one of your digital assets to showcase your product, your service. Mm-hmm. Even if you blog in a free blog, somebody else blog, Expat Woman blog, you write the right content, you can attract people towards you. At the same time, it can be used as a source of traffic, because if it's SEO optimized the content, it can attract traffic, and again, you can get sales. But that content is if you ask a content agency, what they will tell you? Content is everything. Content is king. If you ask an email agency, contacts, the mailing list is king. So that's the same story. Content alone is not going to get your company win. Mm. It's a good point, definitely. Don't get me wrong. But exactly like the website, an extremely ugly website, it can still get you some sales if you have the right traffic. The perfect website, designed by Leo Burnett and Havas and all of the best agents in the planet, award-winning. They give you an award with a big award like that, all full gold.
Without traffic?
Without traffic, it's empty. You're never going to sell anything. That's clear.
Makes sense. Even
the content that we put in the blog of someone else, if that blog doesn't have enough traffic to see the content, nobody will ever see that. The content that we put in our website, if it's not perfectly SEO optimized, is never going to attract traffic. And it's going to stay a beautiful content without traffic, without clients.
But that's the battle for, typically, assumption is if something is SEO optimized, it's usually ugly, not that appealing, boring, and so on. But on the other side, if you try to be just artistic about your content, okay, it's going to be nice out there for your blog, for your family to see it, but nobody else will see it. So there, you need to balance.
That's true.
You need to balance, right?
Think also about everyone create content bragging about their company. Mm-hmm. When company write about themselves, it's amazing, it's a market leader, we are amazing, our product is always amazing. Nobody care about that.
What type of content should they make?
Think what you are typically sharing. What type of content you share with your friends in your private WhatsApp group. Mostly stupid things, which is okay, what people like to share. What's content worth sharing? Stupid things. What type of content you would pay for it? You go to a cinema to watch a movie. That's a content that you pay for it. Mm-hmm. You take your car, you move, you go there, and you pay to sit 2 hours and to get content. Mm-hmm. If a movie will be like, our product, it's amazing, get this product, you will never pay for it, right? Exactly. Except in one condition, which was extremely smart. If you've seen the movie The Internship,
yes,
which was with 2 funny guys, etc., and they get to start working in Google. This was 2 hours of advertising of Google. Any Google product and service, from the first to the last.
Yes.
The product and the services that takes longer time, they were there for most of the movie. Even when they are talking at the coffee machine inside Google Office, the coffee machine was branded Google. So this was 2 hours of advertising. This was
plus it was a good movie.
Yes, it was a good movie.
A fun movie.
So you pay and you are happy and you come out.
So you got entertained. You paid for them to advertise to you.
Yeah. Wow, this is product placement to the next level.
Wow. Yeah, that's an example.
The kind of things.
Book example.
I like your mug and it perfectly placed as a product placement. So, but it's your company. It's normal. Now, if this will be something else, if this was a talk show and then you put the mug, nice. People may notice your company, but you need to pay for it. To Oprah Winfrey, if Oprah tomorrow get this mug, it's because you pay mega $1 million.
Sponsors, get ready. I'm coming soon.
There we are. At the same time, if you have really so much money to put product placement so much, you can produce your own. And when you produce your own, you really put the product absolutely everywhere.
But it's about producing content that is either going to, so if people have the luxury of choosing what they're going to watch and where they're going to spend their time now online. True. It's not about, it used to be, TV, 2 channels, they have really a choice. Super Bowl, you need to watch those commercials, and then they pay $100 million for a commercial. But now people are in the sea of different channels and they can pick and choose.
Yeah.
So it's about producing a content that is entertaining. So someone is entertained or educative. So you're giving them some kind of a value. So they commit their time to watch it, right?
True. Otherwise, there are always tricks because we typically share the tragedy. Have you heard about this? Have you seen what's happened to that? And then you share the pictures. TV news.
Bites,
what do they share most of the time? Negative facts. Because they keep you watching at the news. Oh, really? Have you seen what's happened there? Unfortunately. But that's not good. But again, most of the company, they think that because they say how amazing they are, that everyone is interested. But actually it's not. Because even when we look at the statistics, in all of the websites, one of the least visited page is the About Us.
The least visited.
The least. Everyone is keen to write an amazing who we are. We are an amazing
and they overthink
company.
Every word of it that nobody read.
The Middle East. We are the leader of the leader of the leader. Very good. Nobody care about you. Nobody care about what you say about yourself. The only person that typically is looking at the About Us page, guess who he is?
Yourself. You're the owner.
Yourself, the owner. Have you seen our website? How my face looks beautiful in my website? And also, people looking for a job. Before coming to the interview
So
with
they
HR,
know at least something.
they look at that because the HR is always going to ask you, what do you know about ourselves? Your company's been founded by His Highness Mr. in 1965. Very good employee. You know a lot. Very good. You are hired.
But actually, people will be surprised how many people are coming to interviews without even knowing even that.
As well.
Well, we told you on our About Us page. Why didn't you read at least that?
Exactly. So that's why what we say about ourselves, it's useless. If I come to you and I say, I'm the most expert in digital marketing ever, I say, thank you, because you say so. You don't care.
But even
you search for me, you look around, you look who is interviewing me, where I've been talking, where I've been speaking, where I've been teaching, which client trust me, then you think, then you're right. Your company is good because those people are good. And it's funny enough that we are a digital agency operating for 10 years in Dubai. We don't do digital marketing for ourselves. That's bad to say. We get all of our clients from word of mouth.
Well, you reached that stage now.
Yeah.
After some time.
But even at the beginning, I get when I was just alone at the very, very, very beginning, I get one client, he's happy, and without asking, then he say, my brother has also a company like that. Can I introduce you to him? Of course,
it starts like that,
course.
Yeah.
And then, we're doing something like that. I have another company. My partner is also launching something else. My friend is also needs something else. Because even big marketing managers that we work with, they are well seen in town. So when somebody need an opinion of a good marketing manager, they ask those guys. And these guys, they say what they know, but they say, look, I work in this sector. I don't know too much in your own sector. But I have the right company that can help you with that. And they introduce us to that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But you inspired me to give another example. When we moved to this market, I know we were heavily investing in Google Adwords, and at the time it was bringing direct results. It was awesome, but then we slowed down, obviously, from the similar reasons. But recently, we were also analyzing whether it would make sense to start investing into also paid advertising on putting content out there. What it's interesting is that mindset and the approach to Google search changed as well. So 5, 6, 7 years ago, when someone was in need of a digital agency, they didn't know anyone around them who knew anyone from digital agencies, so they had to Google, digital agencies Dubai. Yeah. And then who was the first? They were getting so much traction. Yeah. But today, everyone knows people, everyone has a connection. They either know directly someone involved with digital or everything, marketing, design, development, or they have someone to ask for. So very rarely when they are in need, they're on Google searching for a company. Yeah. So it's about putting content out there that is educational for them, so they are aware of you, right? Yeah. So when the time comes for them to engage with you, they're going to have you.
Yeah, the market is also getting more mature in both sides. From the consumer side, they are more mature. They know that they need to search better. I not just click the first result and call and I give all of my money to do something. This is to buy anything. At the same time, there are more people searching now than before. So there is more awareness that online you can find whatever you need. It's also a younger age, which they got used to digital. They know that whatever you need, you Google it or you search or something. We know that the most trustful entity in the planet at the moment is Google. We trust Google more than our mother, brother, sister, wife, or doctor. When you feel a pain, before go to the doctor, you Google it.
I'm afraid to do it, honestly, because every time it ends up dying.
Yes, you get crazy possibility and you don't want to know that. That's true. But before going to the doctor, we Google it. Yeah. Google at the moment is the #1 doctor.
That's true.
Then, when Google tell you, you need to visit a doctor, you say, why you cannot fix me? I have a broken arm. Why you cannot fix me in some way?
How to fix my broken arm?
I'm sure that there are millions of results and people telling you how to fix your broken arm without a doctor.
For sure.
But then when they told you really you need a doctor, you go to the doctor. And I spoke with few doctor friends of mine, and I told us, anyone, when you give a prescription, then typically what's happened? People, they check the prescription online if it's good for them. And if they see that this is not good for them, they call the doctor. And all of the doctors, they hate Google. Because they say, people come here for a visit, and then they argue with me later because I prescribe something, so then, And so what some clever doctor, what they do, is Googling it as well, and knowing
what they're going to
which kind of medicine are kind of okay and which they may get problem, because then the person they will see that something is wrong and they will come back asking for a different medicine.
So the influence of Google is huge.
It's massive but how we trust an entity like that? So why? It's all about trust, as you mentioned also before. Because when most of the time somebody is right, then you think that it's a trustful person.
True.
Now, you mentioned that I'm Italian. You don't know if I'm Italian or maybe I'm a fake Italian. I'm a Chinese.
I don't know that.
You don't know.
You're not Chinese, but who knows? Maybe you can be Spanish.
Maybe I'm from Sharjah, acting like an Italian, moving the hands a lot. So you don't know. And maybe you ask me, oh, now where can I eat a good pizza? Because you talk about pizza. Maybe this is my trick. Then to send you to my pizzeria where I'm going to make so much money out of you. Selling you fake pizza. You don't know. But if you ask me an advice, and then you go there and you have a nice pizza, then you think, yeah, Christian was right.
He was legit, yeah.
Maybe tomorrow you ask me, so where can I get spaghetti? The first time I send you to get the pizza, then the second time I'm going to make money out of you. But if I send you somewhere else, you eat spaghetti, you are happy, good. Then the next day you ask me lasagne. After you ask me 100 times a day for a few years, that's what the average person asks several hundred times a day. After a few years, you will trust me blindly. If you tell me, how can I fix headache? And I'll tell you, look outside of the window, put up 1 foot, jump 3 times, and finish. And you do it. You don't question if I'm right or not.
Exactly.
You do it.
That makes sense.
That's how we built the trust so much from a digital platform. The same thing is from Facebook. Facebook understands so much about our feeling, our things, and it gives us constantly what we like the most. Of course we trust Facebook because it gives us what we like. So that's how we built trust so much. Now, if those information contain our company, again, then I start feeling, oh, I trust this company. Because if it's in Google, if it's in Facebook, if it's in here, there, it's a good company. Otherwise, Google wouldn't put it there if it wasn't good. Otherwise, Facebook wouldn't put it there if it wasn't good.
I wouldn't say about Facebook, but about Google, yeah. Personally, Google built a bigger trust factor than Facebook to me because it's a different purpose. Yeah. So, okay, if we bring into perspective an average marketing executive that would like to try on his own without hiring anyone, okay, what are the couple of or the biggest challenges that they will face when they start, and then we'll talk how to overcome them.
Very good. The biggest challenge is to deal with board members or senior executives which have no clue about digital at all.
Okay.
So that's not easy because you come with all of the best intention. You have a nice idea which you are sure that's going to work. Like this is your own company and you're sure that's going to work. But you speak with individuals and they have no idea what you're talking about. They don't believe that's going to work. This was my life for 14, 15 years.
Okay.
Until a couple of years ago. I cannot even explain to people because the answer is no idea, doesn't work, no. I remember so many years ago, I used to, at the very, very, very beginning, I used to price my services, even with some client, at 500 dirham per month. Nothing. This is not going to work. I don't understand.
You're not willing to pay, yeah.
Okay, 500 dirham.
Okay, I will pay you 500 dirham.
Let's try for 1 month. And then you know that they're draining so much money every single second. And 500 dirham, 1,000 dirham, which is 1/4 of what it costs a mobile phone. A mobile phone, you go, you buy, you pay 3,000 dirham and you go home. Yes, but what's the guarantee that I'm going to sell? How much I'm going to sell if I invest this amount? I think I invest in 1,000 dirham. I'm talking about maybe 10 years ago or a little bit more.
Yes, give me a break.
This was the idea. I mean, you pay a chair 5 times more what I'm asking you to pay for 1 month to get clients.
But the trust is there. You know what you're buying.
Yeah, because you know that the chair is solid. That's a nice Italian chair.
Yeah.
We know that it's expensive leather. But digital marketing, you cannot touch it, you cannot feel it. Once all of your competitors, they do something and you see that they are growing and you know that they're growing because of that, then, we need to do it.
How did they manage to persuade their board and their superiors to invest?
It's always a try. The best thing is either your competitor is doing it and I know because my friend worked there and he told me, we need to do it. Okay, let's do it.
They don't want to risk, at that point.
Somebody else is doing it, okay, let's do it. Or otherwise, it's let's try. We try everything. Let's try. We try Facebook, I don't know if it works. We try Google, I don't know if it works. Now there is TikTok, let's try, I don't know. There is also this approach sometimes. And then, when you talk about corporates, talk about a marketing manager with a lot of years of experience in that specific organization or industry, etc. But then he has zero knowledge about digital. In this case, the marketing manager should trust you as an individual just to do something different. At least the marketing manager of a larger corporate, they have numbers, they have performance. They need to show that it's getting performance. So in this case, it's a little bit easier. When you deal with entrepreneurs or with small companies, it's more difficult because everyone is looking at what's going on, etc. But in a corporate environment, no CEO will ever tell you anything if it's not his job. He knows that's not my business. The podcast, I don't know what it is. Do it. You are an expert. You do it. I don't want to know. And that's the right approach.
Back in the days, you used the trick. You used your 500 euros to launch a campaign just to prove them the point. Now it's not that cheap anymore.
And I did it also to make money myself because we were selling more. I was getting more commission. So it was a win-win situation.
It made sense. Today, this concept is not something typical for digital marketing. It's typical across we are in innovation transformation. The concept of prototyping, proofing the concept and starting small is something that can be seen around.
Yeah.
What's the trick that you can do with digital marketing small to prove the point?
For example, I'll tell you one of the strategy. I noticed a few years back that the huge company, they used to have a massive budget and they were investing zero online. So the idea was they started with even 1% of the marketing budget was going in digital activity. 1%. Now, worst case, what can happen? Are you going to die? 1%. And then we got some results. Maybe next year it was 2. Maybe next year it was 3. Maybe then become 5, then 10, then 15 and 20. So that's the typical way for a huge company to progress. And then another tactic that I use when there is some decent budget is to split 70, 20, 10. So 70% activities that's, or even 60, 30, 10, depends. 60% activities which are well known, well established, everyone knows that it's going to work. That's it. 60% of the budget. 30% I'm not sure about, maybe it's work, maybe not, but maybe. And then 10%
crazy,
clueless, crazy. Guerrilla marketing, crazy. Are you crazy? 10%. What are we gonna lose?
Yeah.
But most of the time, with that 10%, with the right implementation, you demolish everything else. So many years ago, Google, Facebook, this was the 10%.
Yes.
I have no idea. How it's gonna work? Is it a risk? How it's going to work? How much are we going to sell? I have no idea. 10%. Now, those tactics are the 70%. Sure tactic. But now they are extremely expensive. And they're extremely competitive. Now, everyone want to be in the same space. It's like the Shakeside Road, the big billboard. At the beginning, nobody want to go there because why should I put my billboard in Shakeside Road? Now, everyone want to be there. And then everyone... claim and fight to get the space. That's why the space is so expensive. To print a paper, we know that it costs nothing. But to put that paper in that piece of wall, in that place is expensive because somebody is asking money because everyone want to claim the space. So basically just about competition, that's the prices get crazy.
So, okay, so say that we secured the support and the board is trusting us and they are giving us freedom to explore. They're giving us the budget.
Yeah.
What would be the next couple of practical things that they make sure to do before getting involved into a campaign? We already said analytics and mapping out and working on sources and defining what sources to invest in and thinking about the churn. What are some other practical
tips? Have a proper strategy first, because if you're just doing things because you think that are right,
don't assume.
And then get the knowledge, because I still remember that after the conference of 10 years ago, there was a guy talking about as well social media. And then for the first time, I was getting some very good content. And then another speaker, he mentioned that in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. That struck to my mind. And I remember that after that day, the majority of people that they were attending the conference, they claimed themselves as a social media expert. Before the conference, they know 0. After the conference, they know
experts.
1 out of 100 experts. Because it's true, outside of that conference, to buy knowledge about social media was 0. So people that didn't know 1, they were experts.
True.
And they claimed to be experts. And I remember I saw sometime, even few years later, somebody that has nothing to do, somebody open a social media agency and become successful. I was thinking, this person was doing something completely different, was totally clueless about social media. Suddenly now he's an expert in social media. So that I realized that, wow, I understand this concept, but at least you should know a little bit more just to preach yourself as an expert. Yeah. That's why after I noticed that the vast majority of people, they were reading a book about social media and everyone was becoming an expert, I realized that social media is not something that I want to be involved too much.
What's the, so you've been hiring throughout your career a lot, and you've been dealing with a lot of marketers and digital marketers. How do you test someone whether they're really knowledgeable and skillful?
Asking few questions, few results that they achieved. What is their typically daily job? Because what's happened that so many people, they start working for a big company, they were in marketing, suddenly they change their title to digital marketing.
But they're not actually.
But they never done anything. But just because they work 6 months for a big company in supposedly digital marketing, then they got hired by another big company. Then they need the digital marketing, and then they got work for another one. And then another. After 3 years, they have 3 years experience in digital marketing working for huge groups. But they know nothing. And then sometimes in some corporate, the highest marketing manager is not somebody doing things. It's somebody just paying companies and following up with companies. So when you have all of this money in this planet to pay a huge marketing agency or Leo Burnett, Avas, etc. to do campaigns, you don't need to do nothing. You drop a massive chunk of money, they will do whatever you need.
You're just managing them.
No question. You don't even need to manage. I'll give you the money, you do it. Done. And once a week, give me the report. Because the report, I need to produce the report to my boss. They give you the report. Boom. Done to the boss. Every week. Perfect. Perfect result. Perfect everything. You don't need to do nothing. But you need to work a little bit more. You need to understand what's going on. Because when you need to get results, or when all of those chunk of big money is not getting enough results, you need to be smart enough to understand what went wrong. And you cannot ask the supplier what went wrong.
They're not going to tell you.
They'll tell you, oh, it's all amazing, amazing, amazing.
Look at the numbers.
Some things will be wrong. So you need to understand, you need to be able to understand what's going right, what's not going right. So eventually you will change and adjust something. So you fix it, you keep going. Maybe this year it's perfect. Next year, something changed in the market, in the situation, in the product, in the competition. You need to be ready.
What would you say that would be the trend that we should keep an eye on now? Is there something booming?
Now, there is the topic that everyone is talking about, which is TikTok.
Okay.
Because it's a big social network, growing extremely fast, so many users, so many members. It's so easy to get traction there. There are some but, because it's a Chinese company and has been banned already in India, and they are working to ban it in the United States, so it's not sure if it's going to be there tomorrow. That's why I say that it's not one traffic source that makes your company great. It's a bunch of them. Because if one day one of them fail, you're going to be without clients. At the same time, because as a brand, you want to be seen by at least 3 different sources. That's why every typical big brand, they used to do outdoor, TV, and radio. Because when you get seen at least in 3 different media, then you perceive that that company is big. That company is good. I know it's good. I know it's good. I feel that it's good. Because you can see...
What are those 3 now, today?
Now, they are not necessarily... I mean, now they should get 3 anyway. Not necessarily the same. because for B2B, Facebook is very difficult to use. You need to really, really think crazy how to get clients out of a B2B from Facebook. So even if you use Facebook, it's not easy to get in the face of the right audience. Google typically is always there, but again, now the competition is getting fierce. Company, they realize that one phone call, it can be worth for you maybe 300,000 dirham on a lifetime. So they are happy to pay a lot more to get that phone call. While before, if you're asking $1 per click, are you crazy? $1 per click? I prefer to pay $7 million for an outdoor banner, but $1 per click, I don't understand. So this is the game to figure out. And then other places, I mean, literally in digital assets where you can place your brand, I was counting it more than 500 of them.
Wow.
Places where you can put your name, your stuff. Even if you're selling physical product, you may have your nice, beautiful website that sell mugs, everyone like it, nice. Why not also to put the mug in Amazon? Why not also to put the mug in eBay, in noon.com, and every possible supplier? Because at the end of the day, it's like your shop. If you produce something in the real world before digital, you don't have your little kiosk and that's it. You distribute wholesale. You give to importers, you give to a different country. You want to put in everywhere. The same thing is online. But people, they still think now that, oh, I set up a shop and in 3 days, shop is ready and then I can sit on the beach and just look at how many sales I got.
That's the dream life.
This is unfortunately the dream life that people aspire, not knowing that everyone is doing the same things. So you need to do a lot more. You need to be in more places and you need to be more structured to make sure that you keep growing. Because when a business is so easy to start, everyone else is doing exactly the same.
That's true.
It's so easy to go to a company and get your mug design. Oh, but he makes so much money. Let's do the same. Good. And 50,000 other people are thinking exactly the same in the same moment and doing exactly the same. You do the design, you send, and 2 days later you have your shops selling mugs and you don't even need to produce or pay mugs in advance. I've seen it in fashion, I've seen it in so many different industries. So when it's so easy to put something, to set up a business,
it usually doesn't work.
It's not easy. That's why companies to do social media or freelancer doing social media, now they're struggling because it's so easy. What are you doing? I do social media. I can do social media for you. Perfect. What do you need? Only a computer, zero knowledge. I read the book and I can do social media. That's why social media now is very, is getting crazy. Yeah. Everyone is doing social media almost for free because there are so many suppliers and not enough clients anymore.
True.
So that's why it's important for me that every marketing manager have the clear idea about what they want to get out of it and the steps that's going to take to get there.
Christian, awesome conversation. I enjoyed it. We're going to continue after the camera goes off.
Very good.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Thanks everyone for staying until the end. If you like this episode and if you found our conversation insightful, please engage, send us comments, send us messages. We're going to make sure to reply. We're going to leave all of the links and contacts under the video. Please support us by liking, subscribing, and sharing this episode, and stay tuned until next Monday when a new exciting episode is going live. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Christian.
Wonderful. Even if the comment is about pizza, I don't mind. Just leave it anyway.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.